Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my flight attendant videos. Today I'm actually going to share some travel tips with you guys, some travel tips and hacks, and I'm going to do so by actually checking out one of those, it's kind of like an article I guess, on Reader's Digest, and it is called 16 Airport Mistakes to Stop Making Before Your Next Flight. So let's go over these and I'm going to react to them and let you know what I actually think about those. So let's get started. So here it says, you wait at the gate desk when your flight is cancelled. You all know flight cancellations, they happen. So what does it say here? Don't get discouraged over a cancelled flight just yet. The best way to handle an off-schedule flight is to call the airline as you wait in line at the ticket desk. That should be in line, not online. There's a good chance you'll reach a phone agent first. Equally as important, you won't have to negotiate with the same frazzled agent who's dealt with dozens of similar disgruntled flyers. Well, the thing is, you might actually reach someone there first, but a lot of airlines now have service kiosks basically, so you just go there, you hold your passport in there or you enter your booking reference, and they usually already rebook you on another flight. So you'll just get your new ticket there basically. Or if you have an app of an airline, a lot of the times they'll rebook you already, and once you land you already know what your new flight is. If you have a connection flight and you're in late, or if your flight was cancelled, then they usually rebook you there as well. So you can just check the app and the app will usually tell you your new flight details. So that's what I do, and I feel like that's a better way to do this. Because I feel like people calling the airline, a lot of the times, a lot of people will call them and then you're gonna be stuck in a line anyways, and you're gonna have to hold that line. You know that sentence, right? Hold the line, please. Okay, anyways, let's move on. Then, you expect non-peak crowds on peak days. Oh, that one is so true. So, a lot of people, like, usually airports are busiest on Monday mornings and Friday afternoons, and during the holiday seasons, like summer vacation time or during like Christmas break, it's usually crowded on Saturdays as well. So let's see what they have to say. Larger crowds lead to more chaotic parking and drop-off situations and longer wait times at security checkpoints. That's true. Plan accordingly. Blah blah blah. Anyways, they say the same thing, so expect Fridays to get even busier in the summer months. That's true. So if you can, I always suggest flying on like a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday. All of those are way better than flying on Monday morning or Friday afternoon. And I feel like it doesn't really say here that Saturdays are really busy, but I feel like Saturdays are usually really busy. Then you accept the first voucher on an overbooked flight. The airlines sometimes overbook flights, but I can tell you not every flight is overbooked. And if flights are overbooked, there are algorithms that run behind what you guys can see. So they'll make sure that flights are usually not that overbooked so that people can't get on. At least that's my experience. So it says here, if your flight is overbooked, don't accept the first voucher that comes your way. Airlines typically increase their offer until there are enough volunteers willing to give up their seats. Okay, that means that an airline must have made some mistake or really overbooked their flight. If the airline bumps you involuntarily, insist on cash compensation instead of voucher. Okay, so how I've seen this before, I've never actually seen my airline do this, but as a passenger I know that sometimes stuff like this happens. So what I saw them do was that they wouldn't really tell you that you get a voucher, but they'd actually give you cash. That's what I have experienced in the past. It might be different for every airline, and I myself, I would accept whatever they give me if I want to do this. So usually they'll ask if there's anyone who wants to volunteer on taking the next flight or taking a flight on the next day, and then they'll offer you some money. I've seen it happen for like overseas flights. They offered like $700 if you took the flight on the next day. So if you can do that, and they'll usually also cover your hotel costs. If you can actually afford to fly on the next day and you don't have to like work or anything, I mean, I would actually take that. You can wait obviously, but then maybe someone else will take that voucher or that cash. The next point is, you don't visit the airport lounge during a layover or during a long layover. That one's interesting. Let's see what that says. For infrequent flyers, it's hard to justify several $100 annual fees that are associated with airline lounges. But if you've got a long layover, it might be worth it. Okay, so you can purchase a daily pass. So that's true. A lot of the times you can purchase a daily pass. I never even thought about going to an airport lounge because If you have like a 5 to 7 hour layover, which has happened to me in the past, I feel like you can usually walk around the airport, you can eat something. I usually bring my own snacks and stuff, or I'll eat something at the airport, but usually I'll bring my own snacks. You can read, all of that. I don't really feel a need to go to an airport lounge. I mean, if I have a ticket, like a business class ticket, and I can go to an airport lounge, obviously I would use it. But I don't really think that it's necessary. It depends on the airport, obviously. So if the airport is sort of empty and there are a lot of open seats and you can just like relax and sit down, I wouldn't necessarily spend 60 bucks on an airport lounge. But I mean, if that's your cup of tea, go ahead, why not, right? Then you don't check into your flight ahead of time. Oh my gosh, that is so true. So a lot of the times I see people that get onto the plane and the flight is pretty much fully booked, and they're like, oh, we wanted to sit together, we didn't get a seat together, and they all have middle seats. So I'm like, okay, we'll try to fix it, obviously, but if you check in ahead of time, I mean, those things can happen even if you check in ahead of time, because sometimes there is an aircraft change and instead of like a 320 you have a 321 or the other way around, stuff like that. So it still might happen if you check in ahead of time. But if you don't check in before, I mean, I know that there are people who don't have internet or anything and they can't check in online, but if you can, go ahead and do that. Please do that, because it will save you so much trouble. You won't be as stressed because you already have your seats and everything, and a lot of times you can reserve seats even before you can check in. Usually you have to pay a small fee for that, but that's another way that basically guarantees you that you can sit with your friends, your family, your partner, all of that. So if you check in, I always check the system. I know it says for my airline 23 hours before the flight that I can check in. I always check at least like 24 hours before, because sometimes you can check in a little earlier and that saves you so much trouble. So, what does it say here? Along with saving you valuable time at the airport, checking into your flight ahead of time can earn you bonus miles and help you score a better seat. Okay, I don't know about bonus miles. I have never heard about that you'd get bonus miles, but maybe for some airlines. I don't think my airline does that, but that's probably true for some airlines, so I don't know. But you definitely will score a better seat. I've gotten like emergency exit row seats with a lot of leg room on overseas flights because I checked in as early as I could. So definitely go ahead and do that. Then you try to avoid motion sickness by upgrading to first class. Okay, that one's interesting and tricky. I think I know where they're going. So it says here, while a last minute upgrade might seem like a good idea, especially if you often find yourself falling ill on flights, the seats in the middle of the plane are best for those with motion sickness. The plane is like a seesaw. If you're in the middle, you don't move as much. Basically, it's true what they're saying, because the seats that face the least turbulence are usually the ones right next to the wings. So anywhere close to the wings of a plane is probably where it's gonna be the smoothest ride. But then again, first class is usually in the front of the plane, and from experience, the turbulence in the front of the plane is not as bad as it is in the back of the plane. So I'd say if you don't want to get motion sickness and if you're very sensitive to turbulence, then I would sit anywhere from the front of the plane until that wing area. I personally don't mind turbulence, so I don't mind flying in the back. I actually like flying in the back, but if you want to make sure that you have the smoothest seat, the smoothest ride, then sit anywhere from the front of the plane towards that wing of the plane. So from the front of the plane towards the middle, basically. So I don't necessarily agree that it's that much bumpier in front. From experience, it's not. Then you don't measure your carry-on. Oh my gosh, that is so true. I know a lot of airlines measure your carry-ons, and if it's too big, you're gonna have to check it, and it's gonna cost you extra money and extra time. So just make sure that you check the airline that you're flying with, like their requirements. Just check their website, it'll tell you all about it. Some airlines have different measurements, so make sure that your luggage is compliant with whatever airline you're flying with's luggage requirements. Yeah, that's basically what it says here, that every airline has different carry-on requirements. So yeah, that one's so true. Then you never check airport monitors for flight information. Really? Like, who doesn't check airport monitors for flight information? I always check, but let's see what else they have to say. While it's great to subscribe to flight status updates on your smartphone, don't use them as your only source of information. Airport monitors are still your best bet for the most up-to-date information. Double check your gate before you get on a trolley that takes you to the other side of the facility. Okay, I would always double check where I have to go before I take that trolley there, but it has happened to me that they changed the gate last minute and I was at like gate 1 and they changed it to 30 and I had to run all the way up there. But generally what an app tells you, I can speak for a couple of airlines that I've traveled with, and with all of them it was the same. I got updates basically at the same time they showed those updates on the screen. And once it's almost time for boarding, I always check on Google. If you type in that flight number, let's say LH459, because I'm in San Francisco right now and that's gonna be my flight back home tonight. So if I type that in, it'll show me the gate, and I feel like that's really accurate. So yeah, I would suggest that. Then you pack liquids deep inside your carry-on. Oh my gosh, yes. I see so many people when I'm flying as a passenger or even when I'm flying as crew and we're going through the airport, because a lot of the times I'm not gonna go through the airport and my security check is our headquarters. Like there's this thing adjacent to it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to explain all of that right now. But anyways, I see so many people who repack literally at the security checkpoint. I don't know why, because if you check all of the liquid requirements, you know that you can't take more than one of those quart-sized bags with you. You cannot have anything that's over 3.4 fluid ounces. That's 100 milliliters in there, and all of that, just one bag per passenger. And if you know all of those rules, if you want me to do a video on those, let me know, because I can certainly do that, like TSA liquid rules. But I feel like a lot of people just don't check, or they don't care, I don't know. And then even if they have everything in that quart-sized bag, it's all the way down at the bottom of their backpack or all the way underneath all of their clothes in their carry-on. And I don't know why, because I always put that little bag into my handbag, because then I can actually grab it and I don't have to go through my carry-on. It's basically the same thing that they say here. Yeah. If you want to know what you can take with you on a flight and what's on a no-fly list, check out the TSA website or your airline's website. That works as well. Then you forgot a pen on an overseas flight. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have pens inside of an airplane, obviously, but we don't have hundreds of pens. And I don't know why, but usually you have to fill out a customs form. And it happens so often that people ask me, passengers ask me if they can have a pen. So if I have a spare pen, they can have it, but I always tell them I need it back, because if it's my work pen, I can't hand it out. I need my work pen. So I don't know why you wouldn't bring a pen on an overseas flight, because chances are pretty high that you have to fill out a customs form. And you're probably gonna wanna send some postcards or something as well, or you're gonna need to note something down, like an address of a hotel or something. So I don't really know why people don't bring pens on overseas flights. I never got that. I'm confused. Like, why do people do that? If you don't bring a pen on overseas flights, please let me know in the comments below why you don't bring a pen. And the next time you're flying, please bring a pen inside of an aircraft. So it says here, you'll need a pen to fill out immigration forms on board, and your flight attendant will appreciate not having to supply the entire flight with extra ink. Yes, that one's so true. It does. Well, it kind of tends to annoy me if 10 people ask me for a pen and I'm like, I have my work pen that I need at that moment, and I'm like, I'm sorry, all of the pens are handed out, I literally can't give you a pen right now. So I'm like, yeah, you get it. Then let's see what else is on here. Oh, that's a good one. You don't keep essentials in your carry-on. So I know where they're going with this. I always keep essentials like underwear, fresh t-shirts, stuff like that, some toothpaste, a toothbrush, all of that in my carry-on, even if I still have all of that in my checked luggage, because I know it can happen. It has thankfully never happened to me, but I know that luggage can be lost. And also, it's not always the airline's fault. I've had it once. I mean, I don't know if all of you know this, but I used to work as a language course leader for a student language travel organization in the summers. So I would take the kids, like 10 to 18-year-old students, to England, and we'd be in London or somewhere, and they had classes half of the day, and then the other half of the day a local leader and I would take them out sightseeing and stuff like that, scavenger hunts, all of that. So on a flight back for one of my students, his luggage got lost, and it was because they were out of power. So they didn't have power at one of the terminals, and that's why his luggage was lost. At least that's what they told me at the airport when we arrived, and we couldn't find his luggage. So just saying, try to pack some essentials into your carry-on. So if your checked bags get lost or delayed, it's important to have your essentials packed into your carry-on. Start with prescription medications. Yeah, that's a definite yes. Never ever put your subscription medication that you can't get anywhere else without the prescription, or that you can't get in another country. Never ever pack those into your checked luggage, because if it's lost, you're not gonna have it, and then you're basically screwed. And medical supplies, a cell phone charger, a change of clothes, and the necessary paperwork to get you through security into your hotel. They were so right about this, and I can't tell you enough how important this is. And then you fly with your baby on your lap. Okay, I don't really see why that is a problem. So it says here, although most airlines will allow you to fly with an infant on your lap for free, that's what I know. Like, that's how it usually works. You put your infant, so that's a kid that's under the age of 2 years, on your lap for free. It's extremely dangerous. That's the standard. That's how you put your child, and if it was extremely dangerous, it wouldn't be allowed. That's the way I see it. That's the way I was taught. If there's any impact or deceleration, there's a good chance you're going to lose hold of your kid. That's the thing, you're not holding your kid. What you're actually doing is, when you're in your seat, your kid has to be fastened in one of those baby belts. So it's a loop belt that's actually going through your seat belt as well. So your kid should be secured tightly in your lap, so your kid can't really fall. If you don't put your kid into that seat belt during the flight, like we check for takeoff and for landing, if your kid is, or your infant is in that loop belt, but during the flight you're still required to keep your baby's loop belt fastened. If you don't do that, then that's your own fault, obviously. And you can also book baby bassinets on long haul flights if you're in one of those front rows, so you can have the kid in there, so infants can go in there and they have a seat belt there as well. Yeah, so I don't really see that point, so I disagree with that one. And it says here, there's a good chance you're going to lose hold of your kid and he becomes a projectile. No, like that can happen if you don't stick to the rules and you don't keep the loop belt fastened. But if you stick to the rules, that's not gonna happen. So having your kid on your lap, your infant on your lap, if it's under the age of 2, it's okay. If your kid is over the age of 2, they'll have to have their own seat, at least for my airline. And it says here you need an FAA approved car seat. Yes, that's true, you can use those, but you'll usually have to pay for an extra seat for those. And you can't just say, oh, I have an infant and I want to use the seat and I don't want to pay for that seat. So that's the thing. Now let's move on. You don't wear sunblock. Okay, that's true. I have to admit, a lot of the times I didn't wear sunblock either. Nowadays I do wear sunblock, but they're probably right what they're saying. Flying with friendly skies isn't so good for your skin. Well, that's true. Dry air, radiation, UV rays. One study found that pilots flying for an hour at 30,000 feet get the same amount of radiation as if they had spent 20 minutes in a tanning bed. Okay, that might be true, but then at the same time, if you're sitting on a flight deck, the sun is directly coming at you from the front most of the time. If you're sitting inside of the cabin and you don't have a window seat, or even if you have a window seat, you're not gonna get that same amount, if that makes sense. It's good to wear sunblock, obviously. I haven't worn it for a long time. I know it's bad for me, I know. Then you don't use the bathroom at the terminal. Oh my gosh, that's so true. So a lot of the time I notice that people come onto that plane last. They like run. Okay, if they run, they probably either came in late or had a very short connection time, something like that. But I still try and use the bathroom at the terminal because those plane toilets, they're really, really small and usually you just have more space. And if it's like an A320, you don't have that many toilets on an aircraft. And if everyone wants to use the toilet at the same time and you have to sit down because we're trying to clear the cabin and check if everyone's seated, you just can't use it anymore. So I'd always go ahead and use the toilet inside of the terminal. It says here, a poorly timed pre-takeoff bathroom break could hold up the entire flight. That is true, because we can't actually take off if you're still in that bathroom. There's a sequence to taxiing and getting in line for takeoff. Yes, that's true, and you get a slot. A slot is that time spot where you can take off. Somebody gets up to use the restroom, we have to tell the cockpit and they have to stop the plane and wait until the person is back in his or her seat and buckled up. During that time, we could lose our spot in line. Yes, that's certainly true. So it's always best to use the bathroom inside of the terminal before you get onto that plane. Then we have, you don't pick up a coffee at the terminal. Okay, that doesn't make sense. I've never picked up a coffee at the terminal, and I never get drinks at the terminal. So let's see what it says here. Better to pick up a coffee, tea, or water bottle at the terminal. The stuff on board can be downright dirty. What? Like, I don't know what you're drinking on that plane, but if you're drinking juice, water, coffee, it's not gonna be dirty. For one Wall Street Journal piece, reporters packed samples of water from the galley in lavatory taps. Okay, now I see where this is going. So the thing is, usually the water that comes out of that faucet inside of the bathroom, that's not drinking water, and there's usually a sign that you're not supposed to drink that water. The water we serve you does not come out of that tap. It actually comes out of a water bottle. So that's what we use. So if you order a drink like water, juice, coffee, you don't have to worry. It's gonna be purified water and everything. It doesn't come out of that tap. I don't know why they would even use that water, because like that's not drinking water. At least not for my airline, I think. So it says the galley and lavatory taps of 14 different flights and tested them for quality. The results of our water quality snapshot. Long list of microscopic life you don't want to drink, from salmonella and staphylococcus to tiny insect eggs. Ew, that's gross. Ew, I don't want to read that. Whereas contamination was the rule, not the exception. Almost all of the bacteria levels were tens, sometimes hundreds of times above US government limits. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, that's not drinking water, so I don't know. Oops, I just knocked my water bottle over. But yeah, like I said, that's not drinking water. If you test water that's not drinking water, that's just for washing your hands, what do you expect? So you can still drink the water on board, just don't use the water from like the sink inside of the bathroom. But like I said, at least for my airline, and I've seen it on other aircraft as well from other airlines, they always had this little sticker there that told you that it wasn't drinking water. So yeah, I feel like that point is really like useless. And then it says here, you're a pushover on lost luggage. Airlines are able to pay up to $3,400 in lost bags. Okay, that's a pretty high amount of money. Not sure if it's like this everywhere, so I wouldn't really count on that. In order to receive full payout, report lost luggage as soon as possible. Yeah, that's true. You should always report it immediately. Go to that lost and found counter. That's usually where you report it. Tell them that you didn't get your luggage, because if you wait, like, people might not believe you that it was really lost and everything, and you might forget something. So it's always best to just go there on the spot, have it reported, and then you get your money back the easiest and the fastest usually. Many airlines have tight deadlines for filing claims. That's true as well, because if you come like a year later and you tell them, oh, my luggage was lost, my suitcase was lost there, yeah, you get the point, right? Submit your report before you leave the airport, like I just mentioned, and keep all receipts related to unexpected expenses caused by loss. Definitely do that, because if you don't have the receipt, then you're usually not going to pay for it. And if your suitcase is lost, a lot of times you'll get one of those emergency kits at the airport that'll have like a t-shirt, some toothpaste, a toothbrush, a shaving kit, stuff like that. So you can always talk to the staff at the airport, like go to the counter from your airline and just tell them that your luggage didn't arrive, and they'll usually have one of those packs for you. At least that's what I have experienced. My luggage was never lost, but some friends of mine had lost luggage before. You might be able to get a refund on those too. Usually you get a refund. It depends on the airline you use, but for my airline, as far as I know, you'll get a refund. Just don't like buy 20 t-shirts, you know, you're not gonna get a refund on that. And sometimes it's a full refund, sometimes it's part of a refund. It just depends on what you're buying and if you really needed it. That is it. So that concludes 16 points, I believe. So I hope those tips helped you, and I hope my inside knowledge, I mean, I am a flight attendant, so I basically know what I'm talking about. So I hope that sort of like inside expert knowledge helped you as well. And I don't know, my reaction, think I was too dramatic, was I? I don't really feel like, I can be a very dramatic person, but most of the time I can stay very calm and everything. But yeah, that was just my reaction because I just checked a few stories, a few articles, and I just felt like that one would be fun to react to and see what they write there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're new to my channel and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below, and also make sure that you click on that bell icon below, because otherwise YouTube is not gonna notify whenever I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.